think we are streaming. Yep, we are. Great. Welcome back. One of my friends had actually confronted me about D&D, and he's I mean, he's played sports all his life, so it was like really awkward. And I mentioned it to Noah because he knows him too, and he was like, "Oh, this is kind of like what it's like to, come out of the closet."
In a way.
Good thing to say on air.
But nobody watches it anyways, right?
Nobody watches.
Well, apparently some people do watch us.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a short recap. I'm gonna have I think John hasn't done it in a long time.
Okay.
Don't worry. As always, Michael will fill in the holes, like gaping holes you'll leave.
I've got your back in combat and out of combat.
Oh yeah. Give him disadvantage all around. Okay. How
did you get back up here?
What are you saying? Okay. Anyways, so we're on our way to Espa, and we took Jordan and Gallus, and we realized these two guys, these random guys who were really in the wagon train, I have it written down as a necrotic gas bomb with them. And we proceeded to attack them. We planned out this elaborate whole shindig to try and trap them. It really didn't do much. We ended up just fighting them, and what happened in it? The guy flew around a lot. It was a pain.
He got shot at a lot too.
Yeah, and we got struck by lightning a couple times. Almost wiped us out. And then the captain of the guard, or whatever his name was, came. And did he actually do anything, or did we already win by that point?
No, he
got one or two hits on Gallus. He got a natural 20. He landed like Captain America land, and then natural 20.
Yeah, so he did that, and then we went to the city. We were told to go to a guy named Madion. We went to Madion, and he brought us like through all these little passages to a half elf with a gold and sapphire earring, and I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good.
The only caveat I want to add, we almost didn't get wiped. It was just Bruin.
And we could have
Norco
got wiped.
Or Murtag and I.
We could have kept the bomb too, but we decided not to do that.
After I had left, it would have gone downhill real quick after that. I just want to do that. You guys wouldn't have survived long without me.
All right. So, through a day of a hard-fought battle with Jorn and Gallus, you guys were led through the city on the cover of the night, of back alleyways, underpasses, by a city guard named Madion. With very little information, you guys followed, putting your trust in this guard to lead you to where you need to go. Eventually, he led you to a side passage that led right up to the capital, the castle of Espa. Upon knocking on the door, a man dressed in intricate clothing, robe, greets you, and he kind of scans over all of you and says, "So, are you the ones called the Four Horsemen?"
Aye, that'd be us.
Technically, I'm a late member. So is he.
Well,
When I tried.
I must be honest. I was expecting a little more, but no matter. The king is waiting. Please, come in and follow me, and I'll guide the rest of the way. Medion, please guard the door. So, he kind of disappears back into the shadow of the castle, and kind of directs you in. I'm assuming everyone follows.
Yep.
He takes you through several passageways. Obviously, none of you have been into the castle except for Bruin. But this part of the castle, yeah.
This is at the base of the giant sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bruin, even though you have been to the castle, you've never been to this part of the castle. You guys are led through several passageways, somewhat dim, not what you expect from a kind of the majestic outside of what this castle is like. In, if you remember, a very elven-like structure. But he brings you through several passageways and staircases, leading you through kind of bigger corridors and smaller ones. But eventually, after what seems to be a good 5 minutes, he brings you to one single wooden door. I mean, it's large enough to fit 2 men side to side. As he gets to the door, he puts his hand and pushes it open gracefully. And through it, you do see light coming from inside, flickering light. What you can imagine to be firelight that came from a candle or a fireplace or some sort. He funnels you guys inside and then closes the door behind you. In the room, you see a man sitting in a very intricate looking chair, almost an oversized chair. This man is elderly. He's dressed in a white robe, very well decorated, but simple. There's gold kind of woven through parts of the edges that gleam of his robe that gleam off the dancing firelight from multiple sources in the room. He is rather old looking, and even sitting down you can see a noticeable slouch to his posture. But despite his frail look, he appears dignified and emits a sense of confidence that you can't really explain. As you enter and you kind of funnel into this line to see this man before you, there's also several other men standing beside him. Some in armor, some in simpler clothing. But the man before you, the old elderly man before you sitting down, does speak. "Welcome, friends. Please accept my apology for the manner in which you were brought before me. It is not without reason that we have chosen the path of secrecy rather than the path of honor, in which you all actually deserve. For you have done our kingdom a great service in your part in Caerwood, and now at the front steps of Espa. So the guy that brought you in, the half elf, he speaks up. Yes. I do ask that you explain yourselves. How did it begin? How did you know the attack on Espa?
This is the half elf
Yeah,
speaking.
the one that brought you in.
We never got their name right. The half elf's name.
Nope.
Right, you haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah.
Now, but you'll actually get it here. The man that's sitting down does say, Now, Silas, where are your manners? Please forgive him, as he directs the attention to you. He means well. But even in times of peril, let's not forget our manners. Everyone, I would like you to introduce yourselves to our esteemed guests. So, as he kind of directs people that are surrounding kind of this, in this room that are surrounding you guys, one of them, he kind of steps forward a little bit, just an inch or so. This guy is clad in gold armor. He does have a red cape around and over his left shoulder. The only thing that you can notice, he seems well built, even under his armor. He's a big man. He's got a scar over his left brow. He clears his throat. I am Thane Ethron, Grand General of the Silver Army of Londrath. And he steps back. The next man steps forward. He is a much younger but mirror image of the man that's sitting down. He's quite handsome, square jaw, with blonde hair. And he kind of presents himself with a soft, warm smile. I'm Prince Halford Lierion. You may call me Prince Hal, or Hal, whatever you wish. And he steps back. The other ones do not introduce themselves, as these people seem less important, kind of standing in the background. And the man sitting down goes, and I'm King Magnus Lierion. Welcome to my castle, my home, my kingdom. That said, may you introduce yourselves so that we could be more familiar and address you properly.
But of course, Your Majesty, and I will do a formal bow that I was taught in my priestdom.
Okay.
And say, Solaris Ravenwood, at your service, my liege.
I have a quick. Is the princess here?
No, you do not see any female in general.
Dang. I'll let somebody else go first tonight.
You might already recognize me. Bruin Malchance.
Oh, Bruin. It's a pleasure.
I'll step forward. Thud, Paladin of Helm.
And he nods in your direction.
And least but not last.
Also not last.
Blackbriar.
I'm sorry?
Blackbriar.
Murtag. Okay. And you, young man?
Got something in my throat.
I'm Norcol Helsing.
Okay. And at this, once you were kind of the last one that introduced yourselves, several of the people, besides the king and Silas, they kind of salute to you in a very Londrath fashion. It's pure and simple as far as bringing a hand to the left chest, right above the heart kind of deal.
They saluted to Norcool specifically?
No, to all of you guys.
I was like, what?
Surprise!
I mean,
it's royalty.
It's pretty clear that they did so because of what you guys have done. And Silas does speak up. Okay. Now that the pleasantries are out of the way, please let us hear your story.
So we gotta recap.
John, is this just
Well,
a movie?
One by one, look down the road towards Solaris.
Well, if it pleases Your Highness, our journey began far before we discovered this secondary attack towards Espa. We had met Captain Carey and is it Lieutenant Jameson? Captain Jameson? What's Jameson?
Captain.
I don't remember. Captain?
Captain of the Royal Guard.
And then Captain Carey is also a captain of the Royal Guard?
Yeah, he's a captain.
They're both captains?
Oh,
I'm sorry?
Jameson should.
Jameson. and Carey
Sorry,
are both
Jameson is he's the shield bearer and kind of assistant to Captain Carey.
captains. Oh, okay. Okay.
Which, by the way, as you're explaining, the door behind you does open again, and come funneling in is Captain Carey and Jameson.
So Carey is captain of the Royal Guard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Jameson's is like his right-hand man.
Correct.
Okay. We were initially employed by these two gentlemen to run an errand for you, Your Highness, and retrieving something that bore significance to the kingdom from what we were told. And upon our return with the item in tow, were responsible for apprehending those who attacked. Do I know the princess's name?
You do not.
Your daughter, Princess. I'm sorry, I don't know her name. At her lakeside manor at Killwood.
And that's just quick aside. We initially workshopped the name The Princess's Heroes, but yeah, we would have. So you know,
Just doesn't roll
That
off.
name
You do
was
see
overruled.
a slight but very quick smirk come across the king's face as you say that.
And
we could change it back if you wanted us to, but you know, yeah.
yes, that was considered. But following that, we noticed the initial attack on Kalewood, and the battle ensued where, forgive me, Your Highness, I don't know how much you've been informed with the organization and or individual responsible for this attack. Are you familiar with the term for the group known as the Weaver?
We are.
So he and their agents are the ones responsible for the attack on Kalewood. And when our initial attack was resolved the problem, we had noticed two figures that appeared alongside this man before he disappeared. And I can't say with absolute certainty if they were the two we just fought now, but in our travels from the Wellspring to here, we accompanied them under a guise of them being merchants. But our companion here, and I point back down to Murtag, discovered within their caravan a familiar and horrifying orb that we did battle to apprehend the men, and the orb is now in the custody of your mages, I believe, to be studied.
And he kind of he does have kind of like this white facial hair, but he does kind of stroke it and does ponder a little bit before answering or speaking. Very interesting. Might I ask, what's your relationship with the Weavers.
I get a little twitch in my eye. I don't know for the rest of my party, but for me, I'm intimately affiliated with the like.
Right. Well, to not leave you all in the dark, we've had several run-ins with the Weavers. Obviously, the recent event of this attack, but before that, apparently, trailing right behind you is Kaelwood. We were informed by Edward, the magician in Kaelwood, of the planted attack through our military district. For what reason, we are unsure, but it was a direct attack against our military.
Did we tell him that the Weaver was there in person? Like we saw him?
That's what I said.
He's been informed. It seems like
yeah.
he understands like what all happened.
Okay.
He does say, and yet beyond that, we have dealings with them many years ago. We first heard about them on an attack of one of our cities within the kingdom. But nothing came about it besides a name. It was their signature. However, it appears that their status in this world has risen, and they may have some powerful allies with them.
What kind of ally? If I may ask.
Powerful. Sorry.
It appears they are backed by a nation.
It wouldn't happen to be a nation that has fire-spitting lizards by any chance, is it?
That is the assumption.
Great.
Where have we heard that about fire-spitting lizards before?
You heard-
Fought them.
You heard it from Maurice.
When we saved the princess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't there. That's why I was like,
Probably heard it from. Yeah.
I'm asking me as Michael, not as the.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
At the cabin where I.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Also, kind of getting burned down.
And your Majesty, the name of the city that was attacked this way previously, what was the name of that city?
I believe he's like, my apologies, and in my old age, Magistrate Silas. And Magistrate Silas, kind of thinks about it, goes, I believe it was a place called Barrowden, maybe? One of the many tragedies in our kingdom.
I see.
This Silas guy seems like familiar with the Weaver. He seems interested in it. Is he seem like a pretty good guy, or is he like what's the deal? Can I like try to inside check him?
Kind of gauge him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't recognize him, do we? Like his voice from when we met the Weaver?
No, you don't recognize him at all.
Okay.
I mean, he's not someone that you have ever seen before. But you can roll an insight check for me, Noah.
So good. 7.
7. As far as you can tell, how he's greeted you and how he's kind of interject himself in the conversation, you understand that he is in a position of power, obviously lower than the king. Seems kind of shady. Seems like this is just him. You don't really know.
Can you repeat again what you said about the city?
No.
The Black Pharaoh, whatever it was.
Barrowden was the name.
Barrowden.
And what happened to it?
Nothing was said about it besides that something devastating happened there.
That was it. Something.
Yeah.
Okay.
The king speaks up once again. Let me provide you with some background information. As you know, we are neighbored by almost our entire eastern border with Kakia.
Can you spell that for me?
Caquia.
Got it. Cool. Thank you.
He goes, our relationship is shaky at best. Around 50 years ago, we suffered heavy losses on both sides from the previous war. And with that, a treaty was formed. Are you familiar with Londorth history?
Can I
No.
roll? See if I'm familiar?
I'm not.
Okay. What'd you say?
Can I roll to see if I'm familiar? with
Yeah,
it?
if anybody likes to kind of recall anything
Oh,
about
sure, I'll
Londorth
do it.
history,
I'm gonna
as
roll.
far as Kakia and Londorath, please roll an intelligence check.
Just roll it for fun.
Why not?
This is a history check?
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Are we all doing history checks?
Yeah.
Yeah. 9.
17.
That was worse.
17,
I
9.
wasted a good roll.
I got 3.
Bruin probably fought in the war and like
Still
21.
don't remember it.
Yeah.
What?
21.
21, 17. Okay. The rest of you not really familiar what the situation is, even though it's recent history. But the two of you know it fairly well. As far as like for you, Norcol, history, legends, myth is what you are known for. Like, you know, you have to know these things for how you go about doing your tasks. And as far as Thud, your understanding of this relationship between Londroth and Kakia is one of word of mouth. You guys, your nation, or where you're from, borders the southern part of Londroth and some parts of Kakia. And you, how old are you?
1 second. 20.
20. So yeah, it's pretty much word of mouth as far as from an older generation and visitors to your area of the world that has told you stories about what happened. But both of you know that prior to the current king, Magnus, was a man, was kind of, Londroth was ruled by his official title was the Greed King of Londroth, and his name was named Podiatrus.
He was king during the war.
Yeah. Well, sort of. Like, he's the one that started it.
Okay.
Oh, Titus?
Podiatrus.
I definitely want to wrote down podiatrist.
Podiatrist.
King Pat.
So his question before you guys rolled was, are you guys familiar with the history of Londrath?
Yes.
Nope.
Apparently.
It's okay to name drop.
Sadly, I am not familiar, Your Majesty. Regretfully.
That's quite all right. It's a history that we wish never happened, but nevertheless, it has built the nation that we stand on. To inform you, the war started by the previous king, Podiatris, and the current Kakia king, Malice. It was King Magnus who, it was King Podiatris. It was King Podiatris who might have been a little bit overly ambitious when he ushered in his new reign.
How do you spell the current Kakia king's name?
Malice, just like it sounds, Malice.
Thank you.
Oh, it's Malice, not Magnus.
Magnus is the king that's in front of us right now.
So
Yeah. Anyways, we in this chamber before you are the men that overthrew King Podiatris. And Magistrate Silas says, it was through the bravery of King Magnus and his reformation that made this possible. Took our country out of a great depth. It was through his cunning that we were able to push back the invading Kakia armies to force a stalemate. And King Magnus, thank you. Though an all-out war has ceased, skirmishes disguised as various forms of independent gain continues to happen every so often. And obviously, not much we can do about those besides protect our borders as much as we can and win back the freedom of our bordering cities. And Bruin, you are actually familiar with this aspect of it because you have been on these skirmishes, if you will.
Yeah.
So that is our relationship with Kakia. And I assume this Weaver and the nation of Kakia are planning something, and we wish to know. It obviously involves these dark orbs, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Forgive me, Your Majesty. May I be permitted to speak?
Absolutely.
The Weaver and his men were attacking your daughter around the same time that we were arriving with the items we were sent to retrieve. Is that item at all, is it possessing power that, if fallen into Kakia's hands, could destroy or threaten your reign?
The item in which you speak of, I understand you were tasked to retrieve it from a thief. The item is merely symbolic. However, it does hold great power within the possession of the princess and the princess alone.
I see. So that
am unsure how they planned on using it, if they were to obtain it. Though I wonder if they were only going after the princess for the princess. Either way, both attempts apparently has been faulted by you all, and I appreciate it.
And do you have the princess's current whereabouts? And is she, I'm sure that she's well protected, but given the prior circumstances, I would hope that she is more closely watched and guarded than normal if the Weaver attempts to pull on his webs again.
The princess is within our walls. We have her well kept, under the supervision of our very own Captain Carey.
Can I do just a quick divine sense?
Yeah?
60 feet, celestial fiend, and undead.
Ooh.
All undead.
Yeah. You do not sense any otherworldly beings in the room. Dang, I should have thought to put someone in there.
Sorry.
Were you clearing your throat to say something?
No.
Oh. So, Thane Ethron speaks up, the Grand General of the Londrath. So, we want to know where the connection lies in possibly the origination of these orbs. May give us a clue through that.
Oh, we should have kept one of those guys alive. Could have told us that.
Well, it's nearly within my capabilities to make sure I'm not making so. Speak with it.
I like that it's nearly within.
No, it's actually currently in my power to bring a sort of artificial life back into a body and interrogate it. So if I would have to currently sleep before I could perform such a thing, but we could theoretically interrogate both Gallus and Jean.
Okay. That's very peculiar magic there.
He's strange.
What do you need?
I just give Jordan a moment to pull up the material components that they're going to speak dead.
10,000 platinum.
Oh, just some incense, which I have.
A house?
Currently, Your Highness, the only thing I require is sleep. Our previous fight exhausted most of my capabilities for the day. Unless you have any other clerics that could perform the task themselves, but I would humbly I beseech you to allow me to be involved in this process, as the Weaver holds a particular... has been a thorn in my side for quite a time.
May I ask, again, what's your relationship with the Reavers?
Barodin is actually where I was born and raised for a large part of my life until that event happened. And I found out that there was a group of people responsible for why what happened, and was raised and trained to set the scales straight.
The classic, like, what do you call it? The people who are recovering from, like, loss or something, like, go up on his shoulder and it's like, thank you for sharing with us.
I mean, when upon hearing that, the king, there's a noticeable sadness that washes over his face.
Yeah, along Solaris's too.
Yeah. I'm sorry for your loss. I suppose, and I hope that we may find peace for you, as we find more and more about this Weaver, in attempts to eradicate him from at least these lands, and possibly the world. That said, let's see.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So, this might be a dumb question, but, if they were delivering a package to the city, do you think you have any, like, Weaver members here? Have you guys been, I don't know, like, looking around for him?
Yes.
Or, just not really worried about that?
The magistrate responds for the king. We are aware of the situation. We understand they work in shadows and have many a times impersonated members of our guard. We have at least made the necessary precautions to prevent such things from happening. However, it's not 100%. Unfortunately, most of our attempts have been reaction to their dealings in their contriving.
Your Majesty, if I may ask, what do you want us here for?
Well, and that is the reason for our secrecy. You, the Four Horsemen, or the Princess's heroes.
It's more like it. Has a better public image, I think.
Please don't take this as an insult. But your group, whatever it may be, is relatively unknown.
That's
True.
I mean, it helps sometimes to be unknown.
And with that, it would perhaps be safe to say that you're able to move around with much more ease. And upon hearing your escapades, you have skill. And I believe that, well, my council believes that with skill and such secrecy can produce great results. Of course, the task can be accomplished by others, but could also prove more difficult with men of renown among those under the Londorath banner. I do ask, upon leaving this council room, that you do not associate yourselves with Londorath.
Ooh, possible.
Oh, like at all.
Well, do not express loyalty to the Londorath kingdom. To me.
Brewer kind of covers up the armor.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get you a new uniform. Or maybe that could be like your angle, like your anger at the kingdom because they spurned you and you're after your service.
Yeah, screw these guys. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
With that, the General Thane, he does see your breastplate, in your attempt to cover it up. He speaks up. Young man, are you currently under the employment of our kingdom?
Well, that depends if you're paying us or not.
Full group takes a step aside from Murtag.
I was, there were zombies everywhere. I was just looking for some armor. No.
Oh. Well, apologies. It's well-made armor. But, if you have no association with our army, we do request that you return such items to us.
Nope.
But I'm sure we can compensate for the lost and found. For procuring our property and returning it to us, there will be a reward.
I'd like to think, since
So you
Bruin's
stole
gone
something
down
and
twice.
you're getting rewarded for it.
I'd like to think since Bruin's gone down twice in this armor, this stuff is just trashed. Like, it is not clean and shiny. This is some
Right.
beat-up armor.
I was picturing in RPGs where you get a new piece of armor and no matter how much damage you take, it just stays the same.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely durability involved.
Well, I'd say.
Oh wait, so do I have to get new armor then soon?
No, it's fine.
I say he keeps it pretty well.
He's a army guy. They gotta clean their equipment and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Spit shine those boots.
despite your disassociation with our kingdom, I do believe from a good friend of mine named Maurice. He says that you were once employed by us.
That is true, Your Majesty.
I'm assuming that you served up your term and decided to see the world.
Well, yeah, decided to see my wife, but, she got a,
Okay.
yeah, you know, that's right.
Oh God. Jesus.
I apologize if I sound like I am questioning too much, but this actually works out for the betterment of our cause. Like we said, we do not wish for you, the Four Horsemen, to be associated with Londorath, as it would allow you to move about freely, especially. And then Magistrate Silas kind of cuts him off, says, we will discuss the future of this group privately after we have sorted out all the information.
Of course.
The king does state, that is quite understandable, and I understand that we have left you in the dark about many matters, but hopefully within the next few days we can give you more of a direction and shed some light on some things that have been hovering over our kingdom.
Can I take a look at like the prince throughout the whole conversation? Like, what's his demeanor been like the whole time?
The prince?
Yeah.
Prince Hal.
Yeah. Hal
You
or
can roll
Alfred.
are you just
Alfred.
like what? Okay, kind of the vibe you're getting off him. You can roll an insight.
Okay.
Just like to roll a vibe check.
Garbage. 10.
10.
Yeah.
He's standing there very attentive. Still with a very warm smile. Throughout parts of the conversation, it almost seems like he's interested, and kind of feels for you as far as like what you've experienced and stuff like that.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so Magistrate Silas does say, it appears that we have come to the conclusion of our meeting. Now we will escort you out the same way you came in, and as much as we like to help you, we do ask for the time being that you take care of yourselves, to further the charade of not associating with us.
Very well. Do you want us to leave the city then, or?
Oh, no, we would like you to stay in the city, so that we can summon you once again once we discuss some matters.
Oh, I see.
And Captain Carey says, and if you would allow me, I would like to escort these men out. And the king's like, I have no objections.
Before we leave, can I look around for anybody that's hiding?
Hiding?
Yeah.
Yeah, you may roll a perception check, please.
And I'd also like to ask if Is there like a? Oh, I'll ask Carrie that. Where do they want us to stay? But
Okay.
perception.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Good. We're there. 2. Natural 1.
Natural one.
Oh man.
Double
The dancing fire lights from like the kind of the candles in the fireplace. It's messing with your sight a little bit. It's like casting shadows there in 4-0. So you're not you're almost more entranced by the fire more than what's going on elsewhere.
You think you see like 5 people hiding, but it's just
Yeah.
shadows.
Yeah. Let's see. Does anybody have a passive perception above 15?
Yeah. Mine's 18.
Okay. 18?
Yeah.
So this isn't like, the only reason I bring this up is because it's not hidden. It's on a stand that's right beside the king. There is a it's like a very narrow stand. It's got 3 prop legs that go kind of, it's straight down, but on this little stand there is a ball, a golden ball that's floating in midair. It does have an engraving on it, but you're not, because you're so far away, you don't know what it says. But it's kind of like looking around. I mean, it's like kind of shifting as you were talking, like from whoever was talking. It's not like they're hiding it either. But yeah.
Mystery golden ball.
We have to seal it.
I'm gonna cast darkness.
I'm sorry, what?
It was a joke. I was playing.
Oh man.
Okay, so
Yeah, I wish I had darkness. That'd be cool.
let's see. Captain Carey makes his way towards you and says, "Gentlemen, please follow me." So he kind of walks past you towards the door that all of you guys came through. I'm assuming you guys all follow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and he leads you through the very the passageways that you guys came through, and eventually to the outer door. He pushes it open. It kind of gets flooded with the moonlight that's shining on the city of Espa, and he lets you guys through, and you guys take a couple steps down onto the flat surface. He stands at the top, says, "It appears that we have some things we'll talk about. We'll send someone to come find you, or if need be, we'll have Jameson contact you as well."
That's work.
Before I forget, and he like walks down the stairs. He Kevin's falling asleep.
What? No.
Let me get you involved here. He reaches out to the nearest guy, which is Norkel, and he
Throws him off the ledge.
I'm dead.
he hands you a bag, and he says, "This is what we procured from the 2 gentlemen that you've taken care of."
Since we all failed,
Our quality investigations.
the one person that's good at it never did it.
Nope.
And he says,
That was Captain Carey that's escorting us out.
yeah.
Yeah.
He also says, "This is the spoils. We would like to give you the rest of the wagon.
Hey, we got no wagon.
Yeah.
However, we have not thoroughly looked through it. We've calculated somewhat the price and have made the difference in gold and stuffed it in the bag.
Also, they gave us gold in compensation for the cart.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
And then he turns towards Bruin. Bruin, nice to meet you again. About that armor.
Oh. Yeah, and he kind of looks. You know how like someone like hesitates when they kind of look like they want to keep it, but he like so goes to take it off. Like,
takes 10 minutes to start taking off the armor.
no.
He.
Oh yeah, it is 10 minutes.
Yep. I
I
started to help
thought it was
you.
a minute to take it off and 5 minutes to put it on.
Oh, I think you're right.
It's only medium, isn't it?
Yeah, it's medium.
So it's like, oh, no need to take it off right now, but
Okay.
we would, upon speaking with the general, we would gladly replace your breastplate with one that is unmarked. If you are near the south gate of the inner ring, Lieutenant Madion should be there. I will let someone know in the morning to let him know that your armor will be replaced.
Thank you.
Okay.
One quick question.
Yes.
We had a long trip and we need a place to party in. So where do you think we should go to stay tonight?
Well,
It's not like too crazy, but like, you know.
what is your...
We have this place called the Dave and Buster's in Kenwood, and it's like games. Competitions. I don't
Oh,
know.
that must be new. I've been to Kaelwood.
Can't
Oh.
now.
boy.
We're gonna have a Dave and Buster's session now one day.
Video games.
If you're looking for something more upscale, I would try anywhere within the inner ring. Less, probably go to the outer ring, but keep in mind, this is the capital, and most places actually are fairly well kept, so you can't do wrong in anywhere. But you'd find your inns and your more visitor-esque places near the main streets. It's the whole city is divided up into, if you will, quadrants, which includes an inner quadrant and an outer quadrant. They are northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, divided into those areas.
Okay.
Could you point us in the direction about inn or tavern or such?
You said northeast, didn't you? Like,
Since you came in through the south gate, you can just pretty much go directly south on the main street and follow it down to either through the inner and then into the outer, or just pick one.
How much is in the bag?
Cool.
Are you counting them now?
That's a whole thing.
How big is this bag? How much do I think it?
It's
weighs?
hefty.
It's hefty.
There's weight to it.
Is it like watermelon sized?
No,
Peach
not.
size?
Apple size.
You can hold it with your one arm.
So
Me or Norcool can.
It's in Norkel's hand.
Okay.
apple
That's
size.
not very strong.
Well, we appreciate it, Captain.
Can't.
Yeah, just let us know.
Okay. So you guys depart from Captain Carey down kind of the southern route of the castle and the castle sword castle.
What was the name of the palace? Do we know?
A name wasn't given.
It was Sword Castle.
Sword castle.
Castle, Sword Castle.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys ventured down the main road. It's probably the most extravagant road you've seen so far. It's
What time is it?
it's very dark. I'd say probably 8 or 9.
Okay.
So you guys venture south. What are you looking for?
The tavern.
Place to sleep.
A place to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of hungry too. I was expecting like a big meal.
I mean, we can get that at a place of lodging, Motek.
Yeah, but you know,
And
Just
you want to dine out before we find a place
well,
to rest.
no. I was like in the castle, like they could be like, here they are. But it's whatever.
Whatever.
You were hoping to be there for there to be a little more theatrics.
Well, yeah, pretty much. But
Well, maybe once all this secretive business is said and done, we will have a proper banquet and ball, and who knows, you may even be able to dance with the princess.
but that's
Although
pretty much
with the
exactly what I was gonna do.
probably would do that even.
Well, we can get him like stilts or something this time.
We can.
Let's look for a tavern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys going? Are you going to the inner ring or the outer ring?
The inner ring
Just
was the
get-
pricey part, right?
Yes.
How much money would we just get? Determines if we go expensive.
Oh,
or-
if you're
and count it all.
if you're willing, I mean, looking through the bag, what you find is 230 gold pieces
Whoa.
and 70 silver pieces.
I give it all to Thud.
I pocket it.
Dude, if we lose this bag of holding, dude, we're screwed.
We
Flies with me.
But also
Guys.
in the bag,
Oh, I know this great gambling place.
No, gosh.
there
Oh.
is one vial that seems familiar, but much larger than what you guys know before.
Ooh,
Greater healing potion.
It is a greater healing potion.
nice.
I hold on to. No, I'm just kidding.
Let me just drink it real quick.
Now
I
listen,
give
one health
all
point.
to Thud.
Okay. Including the healing potion?
Yeah.
I'll hold out the healing potion. Anyone need this? Just down the road? I don't get hit, so.
Well, to
Noted.
ensure that
Yeah.
I can
Lights down.
continue healing the group, and since I took mine last, does anyone mind if I hold it?
Oh, and I give it to Slars and move on.
Cool. Sick. Greater.
Yep.
Greater.
Expecting more of a fight, but whatever.
I mean, as long as you keep your heal battery alive, you're good.
Yeah, Michael wants the Energizer Bunny to stay alive.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are going to the inner or the outer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we've been traveling on the road for a week now. We haven't really stayed anywhere super nice. I feel like we're in the capital. We're in Vegas. We should, experience the city.
I feel like the outer would be like the rich section of the other city.
But no, he just told us the inner section was rich. And the
Well, I
outer
feel
section.
terrible. See what I'm saying?
No, I can't actually hear you.
I said, I feel like the outer of this city is like the rich section of any other city.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, point there.
So,
Maybe it's more of our crowd from the outer.
But-
we don't.
You know,
Maybe,
how often are we gonna come across a chance to partake in such luxuries?
We could sleep outside the city.
save money.
You know,
know-
they close the gate after like a
Yeah.
while, so you
Me-
don't want to
and
like. walk
If you
out.
give me a few months, I'm kind of working on something that I may be able to let us be able to camp anywhere, really. You just have to let me keep working on it.
I will hold you to your word.
So, outer city it is.
Nope,
Wait.
Inner
I'm
city.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So inner circle.
Yep.
Okay,
In
so you guys actually don't have to travel too far. It's still a rather large city. The street is almost like it kind of planes off, and then there's a lot of staircases that go down. But you guys descend the staircases down the street. Eventually, you get to the area that looks pretty upscale. There's very intricate designs of very half human, half elvish architecture as far as lampposts, buildings, and such. There is one particular one, kind of the first one you guys come across, called the Misty Steps. It appears to be there's some noise coming out from the door and the windows. It's not overly loud, but it seems like there's people in there.
This one looks great to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. As you enter through the doors, you are met with very kind of extravagant colors of kind of deep blue and royal reds, just carpeted all the way to the front desk. And then beside, to the left and right, you see kind of a lounge area that's filled with more comfortable couches and benches, tables and sorts. There are people at the far end on your right side. There are like a very long bar, and before that there are people eating on kind of scattered throughout the tables. The people here look really well dressed.
And then there's us.
Yeah. As you walk up to the front desk, a gentleman greets you. Oh, hello, sirs. Is there anything I can help you with?
I'm not always gonna do the talking for you.
Well, yeah, we probably got 2 rooms
Two
and
rooms.
a meal. Yep.
For each of us, not just one meal.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. There's 5 of you.
And not 2 rooms for each of us. 2 rooms total. So yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, we do have a 2-person capacity for each room.
Oh.
Well, looks like we're leaving.
Well, so how much is each room?
Each room.
Please don't say it like 10 gold.
Are you saying that out loud?
No, I'm thinking about it.
It would be 10 gold per
Do I get the
person.
feeling that he's trying to jack up the price to make us leave.
You may roll an insight check.
Yeah, I want to roll that one. Because I'm suspicious because I said
It's 10 gold per person.
Wait, 10 gold per person per room?
So,
So
No.
20 gold each
20
room?
gold per room.
It's pretty much 20 gold per room.
Is there a meal involved in this?
20.
No. Sorry, the meal isn't provided, but you may order from the our dining area. What did you roll?
I
On that
rolled a
insight?
20 total.
20 total.
Yeah.
You, upon looking around his desk, you do see prices listed as such.
Okay. I mean, so 3 rooms then.
I mean, little large or large.
We did, yeah. I'm feeling it.
So the deal is like, whoever is the odd man out gets a single room to himself, while the other one gets kind of a double type deal. But it's 10 gold per person either way.
So it's 50 gold. Yeah, wow.
I'll
So
take
it's
the
50,
single
not
room.
60 gold.
Yeah, it's 50.
Yeah, 50 gold.
Well, my top dollar is 59. No.
It's a rock, paper, scissors with a single, okay?
Okay, so you guys buy it.
I don't want it. Anyone can have it.
I don't want it.
I'll room with.
Wait.
Me and Solaris.
Oh,
Okay, you get. Wait, hold on.
wait.
You
no,
gonna
I
rock
can
paper
feel
scissors,
it.
or are you going to roll a dice?
Oh. Oh,
I don't know. Hold apart for shears. Hold apart for shears. Let's do it.
Is there a D3?
Hey, wait. Hey, no. Let's type it in the thing. And
How about
then,
just-
we'll just send it at the same time.
Yeah.
No, so I'm gonna change it real quick.
Wait. I had to.
Wait, which one are you typing it in? Roll 20 or the?
Oh. We'll just do it in the chat.
Discord.
1, 2, 3.
He just left.
He disconnected.
Murtag gets it.
Single room, loser. Oh. It's just a glitch in the game.
Winner by default.
Ah, dude.
Winner by default. Murtag gets the single room.
Hey, I couldn't help it.
Hey,
It
that's
just cut out.
It was such perfect
the fate
timing.
against you, Ruin.
All right, so the gentleman makes the exchange with you, and he gives you the keys to your respective rooms.
I take mine.
Um,
Todd, can you expense it real quick?
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
We just hand the receipt to Thud.
Yeah.
The bill.
he goes, for you 4 gentlemen, you will find your room at the very end, very top floor, which is the 3rd floor, at the very end.
Penthouse, baby.
For you, and he kind of looks at, he almost said like, gentleman is like, well, for you,
Sir.
your room is on the 2nd floor.
You know, there better be a hot tub with prices like these.
No, that's it's not included. Like there is an in-house spa. It's just separately. They have massage chairs that you have to like feed coppers into.
Uh-huh.
I see.
So you guys go to your rooms, or you go to the dining area?
I mean, I want to go drop
I'm
off
gonna
our
take a
stuff.
quick shower, or whatever, and then come back.
Yeah, I need to wash off the electrical burns off my body.
Okay. Well, then you guys go and venture to your rooms. You pass a courtyard that's very well decorated. There is a open sky in the courtyard, but in this open area, there's plants. Almost takes you away from the city life into more of a calming nature feel. There's people sitting around, like a couple sitting here very closely. But you pass through this area and you get to kind of the giant stairs that kind of go in and out of each floor. But you're able to make your rooms, get whatever you need to do, manscape, if you will, and then come back down into the dining area.
Yeah, I guess since I don't own any other pairs of clothes, I'm still wearing armor. Yeah.
It's just armor. It's just like metal and then like.
Just metal and bear skin.
It chafes.
That's comfortable.
Ugh.
Yeah, let's get some food.
Yeah,
Okay.
Man,
So you go sit down. You find yourselves at a round table. Upon sitting down, you were brought to the table by a hostess. But upon sitting down, a very seemingly energetic young woman comes to the table. Hello, everyone. I'm your waitress, Samantha. Is there anything I can get you?
What's the special this evening?
Lamb chops.
Perfect. I'll do that, I guess. And
Lamb
then-
chops with grass jelly and a side of Yukon potatoes.
Excuse me. What is grass jelly?
Oh, it pairs along with the chops very well. In fact, it doesn't pair along with anything else besides lamb chops.
Oh, okay.
What type of grass are we talking about? Is it?
Are you doing this as your?
Yeah. What type of?
This I'm not exactly sure if it's actually made of grass, but it is called grass jelly for reasons. I could ask the chef if you would like me to.
Who are those people?
Yeah. Well, you see, this guy's kind of a food
He's a foodie.
chef in his own right.
And in fact, he could probably give your chefs a run for the money if they're up for a challenge. Bit of fun for the night.
A chef off?
Yeah.
That's definitely not something we do normally here.
We're in the rich district. We gotta act proper.
I'm not sure if we allow customers in the kitchen.
Are you saying that because it's never happened before, or is it because there's hygiene rules? I just
Both, actually, both.
Well, this place is really exciting.
But we do have other things as well. We have your typical steaks and your lobsters and
Word.
a variety of seafood. Chicken, if that's what you like.
This is my favorite part about this game is watching John just make stuff up with his house.
It's just Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going through all the lists that there's medallions and there's we have wonderful bread that's
I
black.
have that chicken quesadillas, and can you make that an entree?
Sure, I wouldn't make that. I will make it the dinner portion for you.
Those are fantastic.
So they go. Is there anything specifically you would like to drink?
A bottle of wine for the table.
Understood. Red, white, reserve.
Red.
I prefer red.
Okay.
Does anyone have any other opinions?
What is reserve?
I don't know.
Well, we do have a very nice selection of Frog Leap red wine.
No, I don't like frogs in my throat, so I'm just gonna nick that one in the bud.
Okay. Then I'll just bring out the house red wine.
Perfect.
Okay, so she leaves the table and
Oh god.
goes in, puts your order in. Is there anything you guys like to discuss before 10 minutes goes by? 15 minutes goes by?
Not discussing anything, but Thud is like definitely visibly nervous being in such a nice place.
Solar sees it.
Yeah, it's not hard to. It's not a fun place for Thud.
Are you like just kind of moving around nervously?
Like how when someone's just too distracted by like their surroundings, it's like that, but not interested. More of just like, what? But why?
So, I'm
Keeps
gonna-
accidentally triggering the armor to go over his face.
Are you like hypersensitive to your surroundings right now?
No, probably just like when we stayed in that village after we raided that cave with the goblins, we slept outside, right?
Yeah, they're like huts type deal.
And
Yeah,
then
like,
when we
wow.
stayed in whatever the springs were, we stayed inside. That's probably the second time in his life Thud has stayed indoors at night. To go to this is just like,
So,
Thud wanted to sleep outside, but no one else did, so
Bruin pulls out his deck of cards.
burning our money.
you're
no,
relatively new to the group, and we don't really know much about you before you beat the shit out of me in that fighting pit.
Yeah, you and Bruin.
I still
What
got
brought you?
No, hey, there was another guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that Matt Mercer token didn't do anything.
What brought you into Kaywood in the first place?
Ooh boy. Well, you would know that already because we already shared backstory.
Ooh.
I'm aware.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see. Well, so not the most devout paladin. And we'll kind of share the whole story. Of
No.
basically.
RP it.
Oh, I have to
Don't
RP
cop
the
out.
whole thing. Okay.
Yeah, don't cop out.
Well, let's start from the beginning. I was trying to save time, but when I was younger, my family was all killed by another orchid, which is not uncommon in where in Sabra. Definitely not uncommon. And made my way out. Going through a village, there was another guy with, a human. Had a lot of armor on. It's the armor I used to have on. He currently wasn't using it. Something told me that it was kind of part of me to go take it. Just acted on impulse. Took it and ran. Felt like I needed to get out of the country, and just ended up in Cowwood. And then I beat the tar out of two of you.
So, would you say you're a thief?
Still debatable.
Yeah, I was a thief.
I looked to Bruin and said, I let him win. It's fine.
Yeah,
Rubbing the side of my face where I got punched.
Yeah, I just got trucked.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I stole some things, yeah.
Wow. I would never do that.
Okay. Mostly because you're not good at it, but yeah.
Frowned upon.
Ooh.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
But,
At
life
this
is
at
not
this
for
time,
everyone.
as you're discussing, the waitress isn't like trying to make herself known, but she, along with four other waitresses, all reach over the right shoulder and drops your plate and leaves. And also another one brings in a kind of a metal can with a bottle of red wine in it, and drops also
Wow.
5 glasses down,
Awesome.
Always.
That's kind
and
of
then they leave.
startling. Is the bottle opened?
No.
Bruin takes out a hand axe here. Let me take care of it.
Oh, God.
It's a party
You just-
trick. I know this.
You
one.
just snap the neck off.
He lines up the axe to the cork.
Oh god.
And it's like, you guys
roll-
wanna see it?
If you're gonna do it, roll a dexterity check.
Wait, can I make it up?
One.
This cannot end good.
No.
Well, hold on. Can I at least make it an attack roll?
Sure, but the dexterity check is to see how well you do it, not just so that you hit it.
Oh, okay. That was a roll dexterity.
Yeah, we just lost this point.
Oof.
Oh. Oh man. Yeah, that's an 11 dexterity roll.
That's not bad.
11.
10.
11.
I just whiff.
You know that thing where you can uncork a bottle if you put it in a shoe and kind of bang it against the wall, and it slowly pops out the cork a little bit. Well, you do that with kind of the butt end of your your thing, and you hit it a couple times, and it just shows. Then you just take your pickaxe.
No, the hand axe.
Oh, you take your hand axe and you kind of swipe at it. You hit it, and it does what you wanted to do, because you probably slash it about halfway and pull it out. But because you had kind of made the bottle, jostled the bottle too much. It's not like it's carbonated or anything, but when you do that, some of it spills over your arm onto the bottle. But it's there before you, and it's fine.
See,
Is there,
like
is there
magic.
around us?
Say that again.
Is there a lot of people around us, also eating?
Yeah, but they're not. There's a couple that's immediately next to you guys, but from there, it's kind of just spread throughout the dining area.
Do I get the sense of everybody staring at us after we did?
What's your passive perception?
14th.
No.
Okay.
I mean, passively, you don't see anybody staring at you.
I choose to believe that we are the center of attention.
Ruin's charisma is not that high. I'd just like to say.
I don't think any of ours is.
What?
Alright, well, pour it up.
Alright.
So the wine is poured out. The meal is before you hot. I'm guessing you guys partake while you have your conversation about this and that. After finishing such, your waitress Samantha comes over and drops a ticket face down
Oh gosh.
on the table and leaves.
Who's it closest to?
It would be closest to Thud and Murtag.
Oh,
Well, I'll grab it, put it with the rest of the receipts.
how much is it?
Did you
How
open
much
it?
is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So you open it, you flip it over, you kind of scan through the prices as it's marked down, and you get to the bottom of the receipt, and it shows 20 gold pieces.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh boy.
No, I don't show it to anyone else.
I was really expecting us to lose all of our money.
I thought
I
it
thought
was
John was gonna spit out 60 gold. I was about to be, oh god.
We're never sleeping at this place again.
Someone's gonna have to work as a dishwasher for the night.
I just like to say, Bruin is very he's I'm starting to respect Norkel's opinion more. that up.
Wow.
This is
70
great.
gold for one night.
This is great,
I
man.
cannot believe it. This is why I want to spend in the outer quarters.
I
So,
like licking
We
all my
don't
hands.
we don't have to stay here the entire time. It's just one night. Why not?
Just
One night, 70 gold.
Yeah.
It's not per person. It's like, yeah.
Well,
just
group rates
well,
is pretty solid.
yeah.
So,
You got a Groupon for this?
so as you guys are finishing your meals, you eventually depart from the seating area and walk back to your rooms. Upon kind of entering your room, each of you find a nice mint on your pillow, along with robes for your whatever. These robes also feel warm to the touch, like they've just been out of the dryer.
Oh, yes.
Other than that, the rooms are very well kept. Very
It's 2 separate beds, I assume, right?
yeah, they're 2 separate beds.
I let the DM trick us.
Yeah. Obviously for Murtag, it's just
It's one king size bed.
it's one
It
king
is
size bed.
awesome.
Yes.
Murtag just turns into a cat just to be himself for a minute.
So if nothing else happens, you
Wait.
may go to sleep.
Something else does happen.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. What is this? Something that happens in the middle of the night?
I mean, I guess we just went up right after dinner, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know how late that is.
So it was about 8 o'clock by the time you got there. All said and done, you probably about 8:30, 8:45.
Oh.
Probably 8:45. Closer to 9.
I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna tell that. Hey, I'm gonna go wash off the wine before I go to bed. And
Wash off the wine. Oh yeah, you spilled it. Okay, yeah, you spilled it. Okay.
and then I'm gonna just walk out the building.
Okay.
I guess, like, as you're saying this, Thud's completely stripping the bed, and it's just like pillows are gone, blankets are gone, and just using the pack as a pillow.
Waste.
Like,
he has a mat just kind of pushed up against on one wall.
just everything thrown into the corner, and just like, yep, sure, whatever you got to do, man.
Oh, man.
10 gold.
So who is supposed to be sharing a room with Bruin?
I think since he said,
To you?
I think
Okay.
he said
So
my
you're
name, I think Bruin and I are sharing a room. That's how I understood it.
Okay, Solaris normally shares with Norcal, right? Or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So that
I'm
said, let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. Because I need to use the little boy's room.
Can we roll hit dice at the B once we come back?
It does.
Yeah. We'll have to wait for whatever Bruin's about to do, and then you
Okay,
can
well, yeah,
roll
I
with
guess
that.
we'll say, like, at the end of the long rest.
Yeah,
I guess
at the end of the long rest.
our break
Yeah, I
is the
can-
long rest.
John, I can just type this up for you because they don't want to sit through it. No.
Oh, we're gonna sit through it. This is a heavy lore. I've got a page worth of notes, buddy.
Yeah, you guys are getting a lot of facts out there. This is good.
Yeah, we haven't talked amongst each other. I'm determined to change that.
Yeah, we've like never talked.
Yeah.
We just fight.
We just fight stuff.
I picked on Thud because I already knew what Thud talked about, and I kind of know what Norfol's about. I'm real interested to get to listen to Murtag. See what lies he tells me.
You didn't hear what we were gonna do? We're all gonna get up in the middle of the night and waterboard him, figure out if he's a cat or not.
I did not hear that.
Oh yeah, it's happening.
Uh-oh.
What's up?
Nothing. I'm gonna get waterboarded though.
I have a feeling. I think my character just got a little bit more broken. with his
Cat?
Huh?
Your cat?
No, my character.
Oh.
I think it got a little bit more broken.
Dude, it's always been broken.
Well, every time I use my right, I take the same amount of HP as my level, and I lose that maximum HP. But now you just roll a 1d6 die, and then you just lose that, but you still have your max. Yeah, they kind of made it because if you're like level 15, you use it, you lose 15 HP right off the bat.
Yeah. It's a lot of HP.
Hey John. Let me ask let me see if I understand this concoction correctly. It says for 1 hour at the start of each of your turns, you regain hit points equal to your proficiency bonus if you have at least 1 HP but no more than half of your hit. So does that mean if I have half of my hit points or more, I don't regain HP?
What curse is this?
It's a concoction. Reconstruction.
Let me see here.
Should be on page 22.
All right, what is it called?
Reconstruction.
So you gain 1 hit point equal to your proficiency bonus.
Which is 3.
No, you regain hit points equal to, okay, so 3 if you have at least 1 hit point.
Yeah. So basically, if I'm not unconscious, I regain 3 HP every turn. But does that mean I can gain all the way up to half of my health and then it stops? Am I reading that right?
Uh-huh. Or until it gets to half or for 1 hour.
Okay. And then that blood curse that we were talking about. The exposure. So you mentioned what resistant is, but what about being invulnerable? Loses invulnerability. Is there a difference between the? There has to be, otherwise there's no point.
Invulnerability is you take no damage. Resistance half damage.
Oh, okay.
So when they lose resistance, they basically just take full damage. There's no such thing as taking away something that's not there. So like if they're resistance to bludgeoning damage, and that whatever that says, that curse is, it takes away that. That means that whatever bludgeoning damage you do isn't halved. Okay. But if they already don't have that resistance, you can't take it away because it's not there.
Okay.
Wouldn't it just prevent them from ever gaining resistance to that damage type?
Let's see. Which one is it? Exposure?
Yeah.
Until the end of the turn, target loses resistance to the damage type of triggering attacks or spells.
So basically, if you were to attack, I could use my reaction, boom, now this is gone. Or you cast a spell.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that.
Yeah, you have to first know their resistance.
Yeah, that's the problem.
No, but it could be useful against, say, a certain stone golem.
Man,
or
I thought you were gonna die in that fight. I thought you were going down. It's like, well, It's Helm's well, man. I can't go against it.
It's his fault they're running every statue on the map.
Helm works in mysterious ways.
I actually have rewatched that episode, and I was like, what is Kevin thinking? Why didn't he just go? It's like, I'm gonna try this one. No, I'm gonna try this one.
Me and
Like
Kevin.
the whole time, like my friend Rose was like, "What is he doing? I don't know."
It reminded me of playing Divinity with Kev. Just walking wherever, tripping things.
You know it.
It only does.
Just doing my thing.
Dang.
You know, if we kill it first, then nothing matters.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I can't believe.
Oh, is everyone back?
Mm-hmm.
Still waiting.
Okay. If you guys are ready, I am ready as well.
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So, the rest of you get ready for bed while Bruin walks straight out of the misty steps.
You, oh man, you probably already know where he's going. Going to see Marie and Gerard.
So you're gonna walk straight there?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk straight there. It was probably, I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea where it is in there.
So, you know, I should have told you this before, but I didn't know what you were doing. I didn't want to presume, but
No, that's fine.
if that's where you're going, it is the outer ring of the Northeast District. Right now, you're in the inner ring of the sort of south East-West District. You're kind of right in the middle. If you do go there, there aren't any public transportation right now either. You can probably find public transportation, but the idea is that it will take some time.
Would it take away the benefit of sleep if I went there and then?
Depends on what you did there. But it shouldn't affect you as long as you get
like
back
right
before
there.
midnight.
Yeah.
So it's about 8:45, closer to 9. By the time you get there, it'll be like 9:15.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Let's say it's like a 30-minute good pace walk.
All right. Yeah.
As you walk towards where you know people of importance live, to you do kind of take in the surroundings as you recognize the familiar streets and landmarks. It does bring back a little bit of memory as far as like you've been here before. It's been several weeks, months, if not months, that you've been away. And coming back does bring you a sense of home, if you will.
Yeah.
You eventually make your way to the outer ring of the Northeast District, and breaking off from the main road that goes along the outside of this, you go through several streets and eventually get to the front door, a very humble looking household among the other houses here. It's very much like a Pennsylvania, like, you know, it's very narrow and it's butt up against other buildings.
Oh yeah, like townhouses type thing.
Yeah. The door is open. There's light pouring through.
That's unsafe. I'm just gonna go up to it and knock and
Like kind of knock on the door frame.
kind of like like when people are waiting at the door and they're trying to be patient, but they're looking through like the windows and ways.
So as you walk up the few steps that lead up to the front door, you kind of take a look around. You don't see anybody in the immediate view, even with the open door. You knock on the door frame. You hear a very familiar voice. Coming. Who is it at this late hour? And then as she sees you at the door with the house light shining upon your face, this woman, named Marie, as you well know, says, "Oh, now this is a DM question. Does she know you by Bruin?"
Yeah.
Okay. Bruin. Oh, wow. It's been ages. Come on in. And she kind of grabs you by kind of the elbow pit type area and pulls you into the house.
I can't stay for long. I just wanted to see how she was doing, and I got a gift, and
she
gonna.
she kind of smirks and goes, "Well, that's I mean, nothing out of the ordinary so far."
All right, goodness. I'm gonna give her 5 gold pieces.
Okay.
that I got from the
Okay.
last job, and then
Okay. Well, thank you. This will surely help.
and also, and this is for her. And I pull out that child Nerf bow that I bought from the store.
Yeah.
And I give. It's like
wait.
You know, you're probably gonna hate this, but
She just went down for bed, but
I know I don't want to leave her.
I mean, it's I can get her up. Would you like to give it to her?
No. I'm gonna go in the right way. Anyways, I just want to stop by and.
As you're talking with Marie, another figure enters from what you know as the kitchen through the door and comes in. It's like, I thought I heard a familiar voice. And he kind of like reaches forward, kind of brings you up to stand, and he like gives you a hug.
Yeah.
How you doing, friend?
Doing good. Business has been great. Yeah. Just venturing. We even have some work here in the city, so you might see me again. But
so you'll be around?
not as much as I would like to be, but yeah. So.
Okay. Well, you know where we are, and should I go wake her up?
No. I just want to see how she's doing. Walk toward.
Okay.
I don't know if I
Okay. Well, let me clean up back in my shop, and Marie will take you up the stairs to the room. If you just wanted to peer in.
I just want to peek in.
So Marie takes you up the stairs. Probably every other step it does creak. It's not like marble steps or anything like that. So you go up the stairs. She leads you to the room, and it's cracked already, so that there's some hallway light that goes in. So she slowly pushes it open. It's not a squeaky door, thankfully, but the light gleams right above where a very young girl is sleeping soundly.
And he just closes the door.
Oh my god, breaking my heart, man. Jesus.
It's like, I don't know. He's like a little bit tearing up. It's like, all right, I gotta go. But
wait, is that it? Will you be back tomorrow?
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, well, I'm sure she always enjoys spending time with you, so I think it'd be important for you to stop by when you can.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
He says his demise.
Should I hold on to this gift for you, or
Oh.
would you just like me to
Oh.
give it to her?
Oh, just give it to her.
All right. Do you need anything to eat?
No, just a big meal. It's fine.
Okay.
It's very expensive.
As you kind of go back down the stairs, you do see Gerard standing there. He does have a bag, and in the bag there are what you can tell, and he does this every time you come and visit. It's just like a bag of well, okay, Gerard's a baker. I haven't told you that, but he is a baker. But there's a bag of basically bread, and he hands it to you every time you visit, just so that you can venture out in the world, do your thing, and you at least have something to, eat or whatever, stack on.
Yeah.
Well, some things really hasn't changed, huh?
No. Can't teach a middle-aged dog new tricks, I guess. But
Okay, well, we'll be seeing you then.
hopefully in the best of occasions.
I'll be expecting you. And they both kind of walk you to the door. And at the same time, Marie's just like, "Are you sure you don't want to stay a bit longer?"
For the best.
Okay. Well, okay. Then they kind of just say their goodbyes and let you walk back out into the dark street.
And I just go to sleep.
Okay.
Or I go to the place to sleep.
Are you gonna wander around the city
Say
aimlessly for several hours?
What?
Just kidding.
No, just go back to the...
Make a survival check.
Okay. So you walk back. By the time you get back, it's actually, I mean, probably closer to 10:45, almost 11. But you get back within time. You get in, go to your room. What you first see is a figure just laying on the ground with like all the bed frames and things pushed off to the side of the wall, and he's just laying there on the floor. You have to kind of step over him, but you get to your own bed fine.
Alright.
And you rest for the night, and your thoughts are your own as you drift off into dreamland. And the morning comes, and bright is the day as the light shines through your windows. The light reflective off the different surfaces in your room, especially ornate with silver and gold, does light the room pretty well. You, Murtag, you are greeted with an incredible sunrise, as your king-facing bed faces like this window, just as kingly as your bed.
This is great. Is there like any snacks in the room?
No, there aren't any snacks in the room.
The expensive water.
Oh yeah, there are like a basket of fruit, crackers, cheese, whatnot. But there's water too.
I'll bring it to the bed and just like chill out in the bed for as long as till they get me.
Okay.
They're complimentary. They compliment.
Yeah. One of the hotel workers come and brings a check to you.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm just kidding. So you guys wake up. This is, although it's like very high grade quality hotel type deal, it is definitely not something any of you guys are used to. The bed feels great. There is a lot less noise pollution than you're really used to, and it almost kind of gives you a little bit of anxiety as you sleep, not having the white noise of people yelling in the distance or stuff like that. So it was a very interesting way to sleep, as it's not familiar to you, but you are able to get your full rest. If you guys have already rolled your hit dice for your max health, go ahead and write that down and write yourself at full health as well. If you have not, you may roll it now.
Wait, I don't understand. So it's a full rest, right? What happens again? I forgot.
Yeah, you get all your stuff back. So you heal
You pretty
back.
much get everything back. It's like a hard
Oh.
reset.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we, wait,
Do we level
that
up?
was the wrong hit dice.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
Okay.
Roll a natural one, though.
Well, we rolled a 1 on your hit dice.
I think you reroll ones on hit dice.
Yeah, you re-roll once.
Wow, you
Roll
only
a
roll a
four.
d4? Jeez.
No.
Wait,
It's supposed to be a D8.
Oh,
Wait, is that hit dice for showing how much more health you get, or hit
Yeah,
dice?
for your
Oh,
level.
You
I
roll
rolled
you
a
roll
natural.
one of them.
I already rolled the natural one, so I'm gonna
Yeah, re-roll that.
Better.
Just so you guys know, there are all of you guys have a balcony to the outside.
Oh, Solaris is definitely chilling out there in his robe. For sure.
no, you gotta re-roll that again?
Yeah. Hey, that's
Ooh.
better.
There we go.
I imagine Norquil and Solaris both step out at the same time.
Yep.
Oh, hey.
Is
Hey,
it pretty good? Is it pretty good
Yeah.
view out the window?
Incredible view.
You know,
Wait,
I had a little trouble sleeping actually. You know, I become so accustomed to like a certain level of noise and like even to a certain level of discomfort sleeping, and I didn't like it here.
With
I
that
mean,
and
I
Bruin, you
enjoyed
can
staying-
hear them talking out on the balcony.
I think if we're gonna be here any longer, I think we should go to the outer rings.
Oh, really?
That's probably up at this point. It's like, well, ready to go.
He gets armor on.
What are the patios made of?
It's stone.
Okay. It just made me think of like that scene in Pirates of the Caribbean when they're in the whatever the Chinese port is.
Oh yeah,
And I was thinking if Murtag's room, because he's on the second floor, if Murtag's room was right below Solaris and Norquil's room, and they're out on the patio. If it was like the wooden slats. Anyways, yeah. He ruined it. So.
Let's see. Okay, well, if you, Solaris, go out in the port, you did open your screen door.
Do I die?
No.
You die.
Okay.
But, what's your passive perception?
18.
You're, okay.
It's the one thing I do, guys.
Okay.
Oh my god.
As you look out into the sunrise and the vast cityscape that kind of descends from where you are, since you're still in the inner ring, you're able to see just how magnificent the city is. It looks incredibly clean, if that kind of give you a better view of the place. But out of the corner of your eye, you see something sparkle in the sky. And it jets towards you. And for it kind of goes above your head, and I'm assuming reaction kind of duck a little bit to get out of its
for
way.
Sure, yeah.
It flies in, lands on the bed where Norquil is, and leaves a letter, and then flies back out.
Can I try to catch it as it leaves?
Sure.
Good luck.
What do I do?
Roll
Probably an
a.
attack roll if he's grappling it.
Yeah, you would have to. Let's see.
So am I attempting to grapple it?
Yeah, you can use strength check.
Okay. Athletics plus nothing. Whoa, it's plus 3. Yeah.
You're not grabbing it.
I don't grab it. I got 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 12.
So as you like try to grab it, as you're like, what is this pest doing in our room? It like it flies right through your hand before you are able to close your fist around it.
I like instinctively grab my holy symbol, get ready to cast guiding bolt after it. I was like, it's whatever.
I'll walk over to the letter.
Okay.
Is it a letter, you said?
Yeah, what is it?
It's like a little scroll type deal.
Oh, okay. I kind of about to open it, and I kind of looked.
I just grabbed my shield off the table real quick and put it in between me and open it.
I'll open it.
Okay. And as you're reading it, the voice does change into a very, very familiar voice. I don't think Bruin knows about this person. I'm sorry, Thud knows about this person.
No.
Okay. So it goes. It reads, "My sources say you have been spotted in Espa. Good timing. There is a matter that needs to be taken care of. It's a missing persons case. Families of those who have disappeared have requested us to look into such matters, stating that the local authority have been somewhat slow. Go and find our informant named Jasper, located in the Northeast District. Outer Ring. He will have more information. Good luck, Norcol. P.S. Pass along the code phrase. Somewhere up the grapevine is the juiciest of them all. Signed, Anna."
The Weaver.
Okay.
So, missing family in the Northeast.
Disappearing Northeast District, Jasper.
I hope you remember the passcode.
Somewhere up in the grapevine is the juiciest of all.
Somewhere up the grapevine is the juiciest of them all.
We'll keep the letter. We'll keep the letter on him.
Yeah, keep the letter on you.
I pocketed it.
This message will self-destruct.
Lights his pocket on fire.
Delayed fireball.
Cool. It shoots out multiple tiny little spot arrows.
If you're still, yeah. So, anyways, I will get a map to you guys of the city if you need one. It won't be super detailed, but I'll put in. If you're gonna go look for a map of the city, I will have that available next time, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that said, you guys basically get your morning routine over with. You take off your robes and put on your gear, and then you leave your rooms and fetch Murtag along the way.
Mm-hmm.
I asked Solaris, you wanna... Oh, okay.
Well, Murtag did not want to be fetched.
We open Murtag's door, and it's empty.
It's buffering.
It's like a loading screen door. It's like we've opened it and we're waiting for the.
It's not an open world.
Well, you open and you knock on the. Well, yeah, I guess you can open the door. You open the door, you go in, you see him on the bed eating fruits and snacks.
Murtag, did you see if they charge us extra for those?
I'm gonna have to fill in for him. That's got me covered.
Does he? All right.
He'll pay back otherwise.
That phrasing is important. That, my friend. Oh wait, here he is.
No, you're muted.
He's muted.
Hello? Oh, there he
Sorry.
No
You're
worries.
good.
So they
First
came
one,
into your
second.
room and
Open that door, but-
are attempting to take you out of it.
What?
We're not taking you out of it. We're ready to go. You ready?
We're ready to go.
He's like in his his robe. It's like, just give me like 5 minutes, all right?
I look at my sundial on my wrist. We have 10 more minutes before our checkout.
Martag like comes out of the room later, like 5 minutes later, with like his armor's not on, like his boots are like boots in his hands.
Well, put your armor on. Jeez, old Pete.
Dude, you said 10 minutes. I can just do it outside. Relax.
Fine. All right.
Jeez, Dad.
So you guys eventually venture out. Murtag, without his boots on, walking bare feet through this very intricate design.
Does he have cat feet?
Perception check.
Yes.
What do you mean cat feet?
No, that's a natural one.
They look like normal children feet to you.
Joke's on you, I'm wearing socks.
It has probably something to do with how tiny his feet are and how tall you are from the ground.
That's fair.
And they're moving very fast.
Yeah. His
He's taking, like,
his
4
walking
steps
cadence is
for
really
every one
high.
of
Okay.
mine.
So you guys venture out into the streets. Seeing the city in this light is a lot different than what you remember venturing through the dark. You're able to see kind of all the stonework of the elven-inspired stonework with hues of blue and red accents throughout the city. There's like birds flying overhead. It's very nice. Looking up and down the street, you're able to see some vendors, but not like so much like a rowdy type, but more so like outdoor type of shops
mall.
that bleed out to the outside, even though their actual shop is indoor.
Do we, while we're walking around, can I keep an eye out for a place that like would sell like incense and maybe it's weird, but maybe like bone dust, or like I want to find a place where I could like buy spell burns.
Yeah, I think with just general intelligence, understanding that if you're looking for something that would freak out rich people less, you'd probably have to go to the outer ring to do so.
Okay.
But I would like you to roll an investigation check as you venture from the inner ring to the outer ring.
Can I guide myself?
I'm
Guys,
assuming
this-
everybody's following, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I want to comment on like, this is the best. I think we should move here someday. Like, let's make our second home. This is just a great place.
10 total, John.
10 total.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are able to eventually find it. You
Cool.
actually, along your investigation, let's see if you're going from the inner to the outer. So you're kind of asking along the way and looking out for this type of miscellaneous shop. The way it works is that kind of the inner circle, inner ring is elevated above the rest of the outer ring. The outer ring is much bigger for obvious reasons. It's not a 50-50 divide as far as rich and poor, but there's not even poor, just like kind of middle class type deal. But as you kind of venture from the inner ring, there are staircases and various, especially this one part where the main street is, there is a pulley system that pulls bigger carts and wagons up to the higher tier of the city. But there are walkways and staircases that drop to the outer circle. As you do so, there's an in-between area, very large, that it looks like you have to pass to get to the outer ring, and this kind of circle kind of encases various spots throughout the outside of the inner ring, if that makes any sense. But it is more of a garden type deal. As you enter it, there is an arch that tells you that this is the. Hold on, I have it here. The arch is the name of the arch, or this area is called Esmeralda's Garden. As you go through, you enter this area. It is almost a different world in the sense that it is a very well kept park, if you will, versus the nature-esque that you guys been used to traveling through. Everything's well maintained. There's benches and various, activities, kids playing, people walking, doing their morning exercise type deal. If people did exercise then. But there are also people there are people playing with their dogs. There's also a area where people are playing chess. Let's see. As you're walking through this area and continue to make your way down to the outer ring, an elderly man who's sitting by one of the chess tables, opposite of an empty chair, yells across to you, says, young man, you, in the dark clothes, come, have a game with me.
Wait, is that
To me?
Yeah, to the one dressed in kind of a dark armor, dark clothing under your armor.
Okay, so I walk over.
Okay.
I'll walk behind him.
All right.
Hello.
Hello. Would you like to partake in a game with me? I'm old. I just like new challenges.
Sure, I'll just turn to this group. Where are you guys headed? I can meet you later. There's no point in your sitting around waiting for me to finish this game.
Northeast District.
Okay, I'll message Norcool when I'm there, and you can just tell me where you're at.
Okay. So the rest of you go
I'll,
with
stay.
Norcol, stay with
I would like to
Solaris.
stay. Yeah.
You're staying?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Wait, did I have to return the armor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
So that's south.
You're
something
you're
gate, I
actually
think.
very close to the area. You're looking for Lieutenant Madion.
Oh yeah, you just pop over and do that.
So we're basically spreading out at this point, all of us.
Splitting the party.
Yeah.
Party.
Okay. So I'm guessing Bruin is gonna go get his armor exchanged out for a.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
And
go with Bruin.
You were gonna go with Bruin. Okay. All right. So Kevin, you're going by yourself to the Northeast
Yep.
District.
Oh god.
Well,
He's just gonna be walking through that whole district asking, "Do you guys know where they sell katanas? Excuse me, do you know where a katana can be sold?"
I'm a
All right. I want Solaris to roll a d20. I want. Actually, no. Never mind. Forget that. Forget that.
I want to watch and learn, and see if I can at some point give a pointer out.
Okay. So, the elderly gentleman reaches his hand out for a handshake. He goes, "The name's Tomas."
Pleasure to meet you, Tomas. And I'll reach out my hand and shake his hand.
And your name?
It's Solaris.
Solaris. Funny name.
Yeah. It
Doesn't
is
matter.
indeed.
Let's play.
Yeah.
And he kind of like puts his hand like this and like cracks all his knuckles.
Mhm.
And he goes, he shows the board to you. Basically, he has the black pieces and you have the white pieces. He's like, may white always goes first.
Okay, I'll take my move.
Okay. And he
Pawn.
takes.
A3.
Yeah.
Come on, Jordan, you have to RP it. What do you do?
I don't know. I don't have a
Oh.
chessboard memorized. I
Uh-huh.
don't know.
And he moves a piece, and it's basically your piece but the opposite color. Same thing as you do.
Okay. I'll move my left knight out.
Okay.
To the left or to the right?
My left to the right. Like my left knight up, opposite my queen. Up and out.
He like kind of taps his chin for a little bit, and he mimics the move. And he goes, "So, my young friend, which side do you prefer to play as?"
You know, it's all given the clothes I wear. I tend to lean towards the white side.
Oh, interesting. And as you continue to make your moves, he also
Yeah.
makes the same opposite move, corresponding move.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
When I shook this dude's hand,
Mhm.
with my passive perception, did I notice if when I shook his hand, if I passed my hand through like an illusion? Like when I shook his hand, did it actually look like I shook his real
hand? Yeah, you can make a perception check.
19.
It seems very solid and firm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, you play this game much?
I haven't since I set out on my journey. I used to play it often with those that raised me.
Oh, interesting. Well, let me ask you, what do you think is the goal of this game?
Some would say just to win, but I think it's fun to challenge your opponent and test them.
Interesting. And the same thing happens over and over. He's still just matching your move per move. And
Eventually
what
I
ends
would
up happening with like this kind of movement, like nobody's willing to sacrifice a piece and once it happens, everything just falls into chaos kind of thing.
Boring.
He questions you again. So, are you afraid of losing?
I wouldn't say I'm afraid of it. I think there's value in learning from failure. You're less likely to repeat the mistake. And I take my move.
Okay. So, and he goes, well, we'll see about that. I want you to do a skill check versus his skill check. Wisdom, a wisdom
Just
check.
Straight wisdom?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Is the board?
I wanted to cast Bane on him, but I realized Bane doesn't work for skill checks.
What's up?
I wanted to cast Bane on him before we left, in case he made you guys do wisdom checks versus wisdom checks, but Bane is only saving throws and attack rolls, so I was disappointed.
What was your roll?
I got a 14.
14?
Mm.
As it seems like after the questioning, it seems like I was like a pause in the questioning, and the real game starts to go off. You immediately start making plays that equates to sacrifices to open up the board. he responds equally, taking pieces. And trade for trade, you guys get down to like the last 2 pieces. He was, however, able to get the best of you, taking your last piece, leaving your king against his 2 pieces. He finally forces you into a stalemate. He goes, looks like even in my old age, I still have a few tricks up my sleeves.
As indeed. Turns out experience was the better resource to have in this fight.
Well, listen, young one. Even in your loss, you may gain.
This is true.
May the balance be in your favor.
Oh, man.
And then, as you're kind of like taken aback, you're like, huh, that sounds quite familiar based on what you usually say.
Sounds
and
like what I say.
The next blink you take, your world becomes black. To Murtag, who was standing right next to you, even though the moment lasts longer to you, it lasts like nothing to Murtag. He doesn't even know what has happened. But as your eyes blink to black, your vision obscured, there in front of you is a scale of enormous proportions. And it's placed before you. Yet, despite the simplicity of the shape, you see the inner workings of pulleys and gears and contraptions you don't understand at all moving synchronized at the same time. Your field of view immediately widens and kind of exiting out of the back of your skull, departing from your first person perspective, you are able to see a looming figure standing over the scale, even bigger. And it's a shadowy figure in a cloak with a silver mask. And for a mere second, you know who this is.
I dropped to my knees.
And the vision disperses. So at this moment, it's almost like a blink happens and this whole vision was set before you. The same blink that happened to Murtag, also before you, the old man isn't there anymore.
It's like really focused on like past 3 moves that got him there. It's like, dude, you really messed that up.
What? Where, Murtag, where did that man go?
What do you mean?
The man. He's not here.
Oh, yeah, he won. I don't know. I was just looking at the game. Cause like a few moves ago it was crazy, and then it's just over.
Yeah, it was.
You lost really bad. I was gonna try to help you out, but I was like, didn't know what was going on.
I don't think there was any way for me to win that, to be honest with you.
Oh, well, that's a loser attitude.
It is. But I feel like things weren't in my favor today.
What's wrong with you?
And like he shakes his head and like blinks. Like, nah, it's the heat out here. It's kind of bothering me. Let's join the others. I don't like Narcool being alone by himself.
Pretty sure it's wintertime, dude, but like, whatever. What time it is?
So at this
water, I'll be right back.
at this point, you may write into your list of spells the spell that you had we had talked about.
Okay. I have another question about that, but I'll ask you later.
Okay. So kind of, I'm assuming after you kind of collect yourselves, you guys go into the outer district to find your incense shop.
Mm-hmm.
And basically that just ends up being like several staircases and several more staircases and down to the kind of the ground floor of the city.
Thud has all the money, doesn't he?
Oh, I
Yep.
have some-
Minus what you have. Minus what you have. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much do you need?
I need 25 gold. I
Oh.
have 12.
Dude, I got that easy.
Oh.
Okay.
Would you mind lending me 13 gold?
Yeah, man.
So, jumping to the immediate departure of Bruin and Thud, you guys are able to make it to kind of one of the two towers that hold up the straw bridge. In front of the right tower, there is a large building that houses what appears to be military guards. And upon asking around, you're able to find Lieutenant Madion. Hello there again.
Hello.
I believe Captain Carey had informed me of your exchange. Would you like to
Yeah.
do so now?
Yes, please.
Okay. It's like, if you wouldn't mind, just follow me in. So he leads you through the door, and it's kind of an outside wall, obscured to the street. But behind the wall, he leads into a building, and straight through the building, there's like kind of offices of people sitting down doing some type of paperwork,
Yeah.
whatever. And through the building, he leads you through kind of a yard. There are men kind of like doing just small time. It's not like it's not where the actual military is held, but there are men doing some basic training. Seems like there are new recruits to maybe the bodyguard process, but takes you to the very back where it appears the armory is, as there is a kind of a blacksmith and foundry worker back there. Takes you back there. He goes, "We already have it made up. It's essentially the same. Oh, we changed up the design a little bit to, keep the silver army off your back." So he hands it to you. I'm guessing you make the exchange.
Yeah.
He kind of holds it up. Well, it's a little beat up, but I'm sure we can, clean it back up. So he hands it to the blacksmith. That's that. Is there anything else you need? And he goes, "Oh, before I forget, your wagon, completely clear. We didn't mess with it. Just looked around.
Great.
It looks pretty beat up. There's also like some kind of bloody residue in the wagon. I don't know. Anyways, I hope it wasn't something illegal."
No, of course not. I mean, look who you're talking to.
Yeah, fine.
But,
No questions asked here. Okay. And he leads you kind of back out onto the main street.
Yeah.
So, between the two directions, someone is going northeast, and someone's going south.
Where's... wait, is Thud with me, or is...
Yeah,
Yep.
that is with you.
I just look over at him, like, on Paul Norcal, or watch the chess game?
What was the last part?
Or watch the chess game.
What's chess?
Follow
Or
Norcal.
it.
Okay. Also, while we're doing this, I want to just see. I want to see what the strength score is, it, or if it's higher than mine.
Strength score?
Are we like grappling in the street?
No. I just
Are you gonna challenge him to something?
No. Bruin is competitive by nature. That was his
Are you just trying to gauge him?
personality traits. He's just trying to gauge him, which he can do now. His thing.
Let's go throw some rice.
With his thing. Wow.
With his, yeah.
You're trying to gauge who has male superiority with your
With
thing.
his thing.
If you,
Trying to find the alpha in the group.
I put
Bruin
it on
carries a
the.
rubber with him at all times.
No, I
So
put
it's
it in the roll 20 thing, but
Oh, it's a scale.
yeah,
I
it's
can't
still
see
on.
it, so just tell it to me because I don't. For some reason, I can't log on to Roll20.
You spend at least 1 minute observing or interacting with another creature outside combat. You can learn certain information about its capabilities compared to your own. The DM tells you if this creature is your equal, superior, or inferior in regard to 2 of the following characteristics. But I'm gonna choose
Wow. 7th level.
strength score and constitution score.
Okay.
Which I guess I have to tell you mine first.
Well, technically, you don't have to tell me anything. I just
Yeah,
tell you
he
mine,
just has
right?
to knows. Yeah.
Yeah, just here. Yeah. I
So
thought just.
after an awkward minute of silence where, like,
No,
Bruin's
we're
not
walking.
responding to Thud at all.
Well, he's like walking and talking with you, so he's gauging you while he's.
So you want to know strength and constitution?
Yeah,
Right.
and you don't have to tell me. I just Bruin is interested.
Strength is. Would I tell him the modifier or the roll value?
You're
The roll
supposed to
value.
say if it's higher or lower than mine. So
Oh.
my
So John's supposed to
strength
tell you.
is.
I mean, I can tell you guys if you guys both want to share it to me.
But mine is. I'll just say mine because I don't care.
Okay, I see what you're doing now.
It's like my strength is 18 and my constitution is 15.
Your strength is higher than mine, and
Oh yeah.
your constitution's higher than mine.
Really?
Whoa.
Bruin is like,
But
Wait, how much is your strength, Bruin?
What?
How much is your strength?
That's
It's,
actually news to me.
18.
Wow.
Oh.
Because I got the tribute bonus.
what's your modifier
My modifier for
for strength?
is
4, right?
4.
Yeah, it'd be a 4.
Half orc for the win.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense though. How do you have a higher strength modifier?
I have the same strength modifier as you, and I have the same constitution modifier as you because half orcs have different race traits than humans.
Oh, so then you're equal with them on everything.
Yep.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh, then earlier why'd you say it's higher?
Because that's what I was asking. He wanted to know what the roll was versus the modifier.
No. He was talking about your whole stats.
Yeah, your whole stat. Sorry.
Yeah, everything, the whole kit caboodle.
Okay, so it appears to you, Bruin, that this guy is on equal footing with you. It does give you a sense of, like, it doesn't deter you from like trying to win superiority, but it does kind of renew your. It's like gives you a motivation to do better.
Okay.
To do better.
Because I just like to say this has been a following character trait because before Thud was there, he was competitive.
So yeah, so half orcs are +2 to strength and +1 to constitution.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
There's a savagery you notice and respect.
Now, question: you guys are going towards to find Norqual?
I think so. I think we're heading south.
No.
No, we're
that's
heading
where we're at.
northeast.
Northeast.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll
We're
head
heading to the
northeast.
northeast.
Okay. Norqual, roll a investigation check for me.
Investa, correct.
Dude, he's like Zoro from One Piece. He just gets lost no matter where
Yeah.
he goes.
I got a 5.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm like Zoro. I'm exactly like Zoro.
The two of you with advantage. One of you roll with advantage on investigation.
Who?
Thud and Bruin.
Okay, I'll do that.
I'll let you helm this investigation.
Alright.
Well-
I mean, it's a 10, but
That's with advantage.
oh, with advantage?
Uh huh.
Yeah, it's a 10.
All right, so it's higher than a 5. You might make it there before Norqual.
We
All
just
right.
know we're going to the northeast quadrant, right? Like, we don't know where in the quadrant.
Yeah, well, you're trying to catch up with Norqual is the deal.
Okay.
So, and then Solaris and Murtag, did you want to RP the shop, or you're just going to go get your stuff?
No, I mean, I just need the things.
All right, so you go and get your stuff, no problem. And we'll do a rollover with your 10. Eventually, you guys all catch up with Norqual. And actually, you're able to help guide him along to give him a sense of direction as far as where the northeast district is.
He's standing in front of a crossroad trying to read the signs, and all of us, like, the two parties see him, like, at the crossroad, and we all like each other and just go and help the lost puppy.
Yeah. So eventually, with the group all back together again, you guys cross some streets like the Beatles on one of those covers. And
Just one of those. Any of the covers.
Yeah. The most famous one, at least. And then you guys get to a certain area. A lot of you are looking. Really, the only information that Norqual has is that this guy. You're looking for a guy named Jasper. Let's say you find your way to the Northeast District fairly well. I mean, it's just divided into categories. This is the outer ring. Go ahead and roll another investigation check for me with advantage.
Okay. $11.
11.
Yeah. Wow.
So, you're kind of looking around, and like a lot of people don't really know who this Jasper is. And you've all pretty much spend half the day just talking to anyone that you can find. You eventually got word that they know of a Jasper that is one of the owners of a small tea shop. And it's on the second floor of one of the buildings, and you're led to it. As you get up to the front steps of this place, it's a staircase that leads directly to the second floor. You go up the stairs, you go through the door, you hear the familiar shop doorbell ring. Ring, ring, ring. There is an older female human standing behind the counter. The inside of this place is very it's nice. It's homey. It seems a little congested, but the immediate smell you give are like of tea leaves, and honey kind of fill the air. It's a very warm atmosphere with soft lighting.
I go up to the lady and I say, somewhere up in the grapevine is of them all.
What?
I said, somewhere up in the grapevine is the juiciest of them all.
Huh. She kind of like reaches back to her counter, doesn't say a word, reaches back behind her and pours what seems to be a cup of tea. While handing it over, she tells you, do me a favor, honey. Head around back and enjoy the air. If you don't want the tea, at least water my plants with it, all right? And then she kind of turns away.
Can I get one more tea?
She doesn't.
Yeah, I just remember like it's not that kind of place. It's like it's not a real tea place.
She sells tea here though. I don't get it.
Just come on.
Alright.
She is walking out.
She's like purposely turning away from you guys.
Yeah, we're supposed to go to the back.
As we leave, can I snatch a tea leaf?
I'm walking out.
Like a bag of tea leaves, or
Yeah. Since she's not gonna make me any.
yeah, you can roll a sleight of hand.
What is it?
24.
Yeah, 24.
So you do so when on a lower shelf about your height. As you're walking, you brush your hip against the shelving, and you're able to grab a bag of leaves.
This guy.
I take the teacup with us because she told us to water the plants with it if we don't drink it.
A what?
I'm taking the teacup because she said to water.
No,
the plants
she
with
handed it to.
Oh, okay.
She was handing it over to Norqual.
Got it.
I'm walking around back.
Okay. Around the back is a small porch area that's overlooking kind of this immediate district. Really in this area, there's like kind of a couple of chairs that are facing out towards the view. However, around the corner, there's like a 3/4 booths, a booth sitting in the corner. And on top of that booth, there is on top of the table in the center, there appears to be a kind of a plant.
I'll walk up to the plant, kind of just, hello? Looking around. Do I see anybody?
It's just a corner, and there's just a booth there with a plant in the middle of it.
I'm like, well, pour the tea into the plant.
Okay. So you walk up to it, and you do so, and you pour the water in. Immediately, nothing happens. Then you hear a click, and then another click, and the whole table turns, and the booth along with the table starts dropping into the ground.
Gosh.
Holy cow. You didn't drink that.
Can I check the plant? Is it a living plant?
It's going further and further away from you into the ground.
Oh, the plant is?
Yeah, the whole table, the whole contraption, the whole booth.
Oh, I see.
I am following.
I jump on the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Does everybody do so?
I guess we're good.
Can I make I guess I'll go in last. Can I just make like one check left and right around us? If, like,
One
anyone's
check
waiting
left and
for us?
right.
It's like
To look
I
around.
assume this is
Oh,
like
to
a
look around?
descending
Yeah,
staircase,
roll a
right?
perception check.
Yeah, just basically like who's watching us.
I thought you meant like shove people left and right while you're sitting down.
Pull an oracle.
Where's perception? 18.
18. There does not appear to be anybody that followed you or people that were in this porch area prior to you getting there.
Cool.
So as you guys descend, there is a small room, very congested with stuff. There are all sorts of familiar weaponry, from daggers to swords to shields, a lot of like leather type armor, and kind of at the center of this thing, there's a counter with like a fence that comes all the way down to the countertop. So he's kind of encased. There's a person in the middle of it that's encased in this cage type deal. Let's see. Yeah.
I go up to the case or whatever.
The cage, yeah.
Cage. I say, who are you?
And he, this guy is like working on what appears to be some, like a bracer type deal. He looks up and he has one of those kind of monocles that are like what jewelers use, like a telescopic monocle. He looks up, He goes, the name's Jasper.
A little bit of Jasper.
You looking for me?
Yeah. Got a letter from Anna to come find you.
Oh, Anna. So she
Yeah.
sent you. All right. Well, I'm guessing you're here for the job.
Yeah.
Okay, so, if she informed you of anything, it is a missing persons job. We have something weird going on in the city, and a lot of folks are kind of freaked out by it. There appears to be 7 missing people and counting, with no indication of what happened to them. It's probably been a month and a half since that started. I think the local authority was contacted first, but their progress were not great. Some of the grieving family members have reached out to the organization asking for assistance in the missing persons case. Unfortunately, most of the other families wish to remain anonymous in fear of, their other family members being targeted. But we do know of 2 that are willing to speak.
Okay. Where can I find these 2?
Well, let's see. What I understand, everything happened around the Southwest District, in the inner ring, but the families, peculiarly, are in the outer ring of the Southwest District. So if you go there, you'll find the Barabee family, and also the Saxon sisters. I apologize. The Saxon sister is going to be in the inner ring of the Southwest District.
You said the bear.
Barabee. Berebe.
And that's in the outer district.
They are in the Southwest outer ring.
And all the disappearances happened in the southeast inner.
Which
Yes.
is also where the Saxon sister lived.
I thought the Saxons lived in southwest.
Inner southwest.
Yeah.
They went
And,
missing in inner southeast.
Yeah.
No. It's all Southwest.
All southwest. Okay.
Yeah.
So one's in inner, one's in missing.
Yeah. And the disappearance happened in inner southwest.
Mm-hmm.
I asked Jasper, have you taken a look at, or has anybody from the organization been to the disappearing sites and kind of have a clue of exactly what?
You're the first, my man.
Okay.
Ooh. A
As he-
senior case.
Hey.
As he's doing that, he lifts up the bracer and he kind of fiddles with it, and he shifts something on the bracer, and a blade pops out.
Oh, Assassin's Creed.
And he's like, And he starts working on it again.
That's dope.
Do I have to lose a finger? Okay. What you got going on over there?
He's like, I'm just working on this new invention of mine. I actually got the blueprints from Anna, but she wanted me to fiddle with it to make this the spring-loaded dagger come out a little better. It's like, seems like, well, if you're interested, basically, it's a bracer that has a hidden blade underneath. But what she wants me to do is also make the blade a projectile. So anyways, I should be able to kind of final stages should be done in probably a day or so.
Okay.
And I just turned real cool. I was like, do you think this gentleman could fix the ballista on our car?
Talking about Spot, he probably could. Probably. So Jasper, we got an invention that Anna had made. She kind of jerry-rigged it and put it on our wagon. It's kind of a ballista that shoots these massive arrows.
You wouldn't happen to be talking about Spot, would you?
Yeah.
All right, now listen here. I'm gonna forgive you because you're ignorant. That invention was my idea and not Anna's. So please get the names right next time, all right?
Well, to be fair, Anna told us that she invented it.
Yeah.
Well, Anna, that lion.
She did so good on like putting it on a cart though. Like nobody else would have that idea. It was so good. Like, I mean, it was awesome.
Please.
I feel like you would probably do a better job. Would you mind taking a look at it?
You honest fiddle with it? I don't want anything to do with that thing.
But it's for your friend, Narco here.
Friend? I just met the dude.
Exactly.
If you'd known him any longer, you might not be his friend.
I kind of just glare at him.
Well, if it is such a good design, why did it just like break? I mean, I guess it did take a fireball, but
Excuse me.
I just, like, snagged
Did
my
you
head.
say my baby broke?
It partially broke.
What did you fellas do with it?
We didn't do anything.
Well, we didn't do anything to it.
yeah.
We were in a scrape, and it happened to be collateral damage in a. Are you familiar with what a fireball is?
Well, I mean, I'd imagine it's
It's a
a
giant
ball of
that
fire.
detonates. Yes. So it hit many of us, and unfortunately, the cart to which this magnificent contraption was affixed to.
I
And we
can't
haven't been
believe
able
the
to use it
nerves of
since.
that woman lending out my baby to you guys.
What? Hold on. I think this is actually a fabulous time for you to see some of the maybe parts you could fine tune and beef up a little bit to make this better for combat. Or, you know, like, we're like the first people to use it probably again in major combat, so this is good testing.
All right.
Yes, you could make it the Spot Ballista V2.
Yeah, oh, that is a good name.
Roll a persuasion check.
This should be with advantage, right?
Which one?
Well,
Yeah, do it with advantage, and it could happen between any of the three of you.
Oh boy.
I don't want to do it. Impossible.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
I could do it.
Okay.
Do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
What'd you get?
20.
Yeah.
18. It's
Wait,
not
that's
that.
performance.
Oh, what? Oh, it's the same.
Oh, is it?
Performance are the same for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so what is it?
20.
20.
20. Okay. Well, I'd like to see what little Miss Priss did with my little Spot. Okay, well, tell me where it is.
Actually, I
No,
don't
he told us
remember.
it's the gates at the carts at the southern gate where we entered.
Yes.
The
what's
southern
being
gate. I'm guessing it's being held by
By the guards.
the
Yeah,
guards.
if
All
you
right.
tell them you'd like to investigate the Four Horsemen's cart, then they should let you through.
It shouldn't be a problem. I do a lot of work for them, anyways.
No, fantastic.
Oh, I'll look into it. I'll see what I'm. Hannah, no promises though. All right.
Of course.
Okay. Well, just give me a few days. Hopefully, I'll get it all sorted out.
Much appreciated.
He goes,
we might
well,
need some
while
ammo
you're while you're here, if there's anything you need, nothing's for free though. I got a living to make out here as well.
Oh. Solaris chooses the dialogue box option where it says peruse wares.
Wares.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's pretty much like general, like it seems like all this stuff is geared more towards the organization and their needs, as far as like there's not a lot of heavy armor type deal, just leather type stuff as far as armor goes. There's cloaks, daggers, swords, and stuff like that.
You got any magic bows?
Sorry, we don't deal with magical items around here.
Do you
We
have
like to
any,
depend on things that we can control.
any silvered weapons?
Oh yeah.
We do have silvered ammunition, but silver weapons, it's not a commodity we like to keep on hand. It's not every day we get to use them.
Do they have any javelins?
Yeah, if you like look to like just kind of the corner of the room, there is a barrel full of javelins.
How many? Like,
Um,
can I buy 10?
yeah, definitely.
How much?
Let's see.
400 gold.
Because as it stands, I'm the only one with a silver weapon. And
Yeah.
we also don't have any magical weapons.
That is encouraging.
You did until someone.
A javelin
well,
is
it's not
5
down.
silver pieces per.
Okay, thank you.
Can
And
I
you
buy,
want the full 10?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I buy
So- That's
20
5
arrows?
gold.
Yep.
20 arrows?
And
Sure.
then, does he have some silver arrows?
Yeah, hold on. It's going to be pretty pricey.
Well, I just need like probably, I don't know, 5 of them.
So, wow. He goes, you'll need 5 of them. All right. Well, silver at anything is pretty pricey. How much did I charge you for your sword? It was like it was like 120, right?
It was all my money at the time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
something around there maybe.
Um,
But that was also a whole sword.
yeah. It's like, well, since you're a friend of my co-worker
Friend.
here, we'll give you a discount. Say we'll charge you 50 gold for 10.
That's not bad.
50 gold for 10 of them?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or 25 for 5.
expensive.
Not to rules lawyer you, but do you want to know what the book says they should cost?
A lot.
A lot.
Okay. We're gonna
I
look
have
at
it
that.
here. It's like 100 gold pieces for 10.
Go.
Can we buy some arrows?
Excuse
We
me?
can split them up.
He's talking about the
Thud for some money for the arrows.
I couldn't understand you at all.
Yeah.
Could I get some money for the arrows?
How much do you need?
50?
Well, are you gonna actually hit stuff with you?
Probably not.
Probably not. I mean, at least he's
Probably
on.
not. Yeah. I'll give him the 100 gold out of the bag.
Boom.
Wait,
Yes.
I only need 50.
He gave you 50 allowance money.
Yeah, but I don't want to be giving you another 50 like 2 sessions later
Yeah.
Awesome. To
when you go buy candy or something.
turn my rapier
Chill
into.
out.
All right, so you take 10 silvered?
Yeah, for 50, and then 20 arrows.
20 regular arrows?
Yeah,
That's 1 gold piece, so 51.
okay, perfect.
Oh, that's 1 gold barrel. I was like, whoa.
Well, I guess he's half pricing it for you, so 5 silver pieces. So 50 and 5 silver.
Easy.
How much
And
would
then
you
I'll
Arrows.
yeah. Once we leave, I'll give
Oh wait,
Bruin some
Murtek,
arrows.
why don't you just buy like a crap ton of arrows and you can just keep them back holding?
What? I don't need that many.
Well, I mean, you don't need that many now.
Just we'll find some arrows.
Okay, I'm just
When's the
saying.
last time I got them for free?
I'm just
So,
looking out for you.
how much would it cost to, since I have a rapier, and really the only part of the weapon is tip, if I were to maybe silver tipped the rapier, maybe 3 inches of it? Because the rest of the rapier, you don't really use it as a weapon.
Kind of same for the war pick too, if you're being honest.
Yeah, it's more about the. Here's the thing. He's not a blacksmith.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does it
It
have-
still costs the same. To silver weapons, 100 gold.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes it magical. So
Well, that you can hit ghosties with it.
that's what I'm saying. It makes it a magic weapon, right?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I
It
mean,
just lets
it,
you hit certain types of enemies. It doesn't give you a
normally when
bonus
they're
or anything with it.
immune to it or whatever, you hit it for normal.
Yeah, you still hit for normal damage, but it's no longer a non-magical.
Right. You consider it for the
Yeah.
purpose of hitting. It's considered magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I might need silver weapon.
Well, I mean, I don't think we can get that here from Jasper. So.
He's like he goes he's like still fiddling like with this while you guys are deciding what to do. And he's like he was like looking kind of down the barrel and he pushes something and he goes, the blade shoots straight up and sticks to the ceiling.
Oh,
It's like, oh, okay, that was close. Pretend that never happened.
are you sure you should be doing this alone?
I did this all the time. It's
Huh?
all within the realm of safety.
Is that
Cool, I
weapon?
take 2 steps back.
Is that weapon in like some kind of trial phase?
No, it's already pretty much done. It's just the projectile part that needs a little bit of tinkering.
You want me to take it out for a spin? Let me try it out against whatever we're facing, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe give you a feedback on what other fixes you might need.
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh gosh. This is
Natural 1.
Come on, give me that 20. $14.
Ooh.
Come on, that one.
Yikes. I tell you what, you can take it out for a spin for 300 gold pieces.
Oh,
I just
Yeah,
got.
we're not signing a lease for 300. Kevin's gonna fire that weapon and lose that blade instantly.
well, first of all, it isn't. He doesn't even have it fully working yet. He doesn't.
Yeah,
it
I
won't
know.
even work 100%.
He just killed some random kid.
Now, if you don't want it, when it's done, I can probably sell it to you for 300 gold pieces.
If you sell it to me, will it be functionally?
Like I said, where I'm just tinkering with the spring a little bit, but it's pretty much already done. And you're like,
How about we think about it, no cool. If we finish the job and none of us die,
Yeah.
because
So-
we may have to spend another 300 gold on a diamond to bring one of us back.
if you're asking questions about it, but basically what he tells you is that, in terms of D&D lingo,
Mechanics.
it tells you that unarmed strikes are 1d4 instead of 1d1. and you're able to shoot the blade up to 20 feet, which basically is 1d4 at range. And let's see, and for the, as far as replacing the blade, it would be 10 gold pieces per.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
That's a
Um,
weapon.
Let's
If
see.
you are just using the actual blade, John, like if you stab someone with it while it's still on your wrist, does it use up the blade or does it stay?
It stays.
Okay. So it's only you pew it.
And he kind of explains, well, you know, I understand this whole process, this risk thing. We're kind of getting into it. So it's all work in progress. We're able to, hopefully, as we progress and get more knowledge about the weapon, we're able to, you know, make it better. So the option is upgrade in the future.
Yeah. Have you guys played Shadows Die Twice? It's basically this game where you get like a prosthetic arm and you can find a bunch of different attachments in the world to like make it better. It's basically what this is. I like it.
Sponsor.
Activision.
How about after
Where
we
you
finish the mission and, you know, just think about it a little bit. We'll come back and we'll let you know.
All right.
Probably-
Well, if you're gonna, you know, look into this, like I said, you can talk to the families. I think the local authority would be able to get you something as well.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And one more question about what age range were the 2 people or all the 7 people overtaken? So the age range or vary?
I'm not very sure. I heard they were they're young.
Younger.
Boy
Okay.
or girl?
I don't really know.
All right. Well, thank you for the information.
No problem. If you need an exit, just hop back onto the booth. It'll raise you up. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy.
Yep.
So you get back in the booth, and you see Jasper hit something on his desk, and the contraption lifts up, and you guys are raised to the porch area again.
So, Narco, what exactly is
Oh
this?
yeah. You guys had no context as to what we were just doing.
Is this like a government?
Just look at Norcol.
Something like that.
Oh boy.
I mean, I feel like you should at least clue them in a bit as to what's going on. The
It's
overall
just,
purpose of what you do.
think of like
Kevin, I will say the organization isn't like secret. It's not like a CIA type deal.
yeah,
Because people are able to request help from the organization.
Think of us like
I mean, I know what the CIA is.
think of us as mercenaries for hire in dealing with dark forces.
So, what's the name of it?
The Order.
Oh,
The Order 1794.
I've never heard of it before.
we
Have you ever heard of it before? Is what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
roll
like-
an intelligence check for me.
Can I roll one too?
Yeah.
I was gonna further explain what kind of monsters we fight.
Yeah,
Oh,
Thud's waiting to hear what kind of monsters we fight.
Oh, that's a 4.
No. I'm
You've
from-
never. You're not even sure what an order is.
Oh yeah, he's heard of us.
Makes
Who-
sense. No, sorry, man.
Military guy, John.
Yeah.
What was your roll?
Like kind of
He's got 19.
19.
Okay. John, I mean, Bruin, what you have actually worked with members of the Order before. On one of your excursions to the eastern border towards Kakia, there was one instance where, as the company was traveling through a wooded area, you guys were attacked by creatures that aren't humans. With that, you guys were able to acquire some help from the order. Two other blood hunters that were able to, in essence, set up traps and use various methods that are very specific to hunting these winged creatures. So from that knowledge, you're able to discern that, like what he said, they kind of offered a specific skill set in hunting down more evil, dark creatures. And let's see.
Would he know?
They do some crazy things with their blood. But this is familiar to you because you've seen Norkel do it many times.
Yeah. Okay.
So I kind of explained to, I guess, since Doug wasn't here when we were in Silent Fall.
It's
So
cool.
I
I
had-
just get left out of a lot of stuff. It's cool.
So I explained to him in Silent Fall we met up with Anna. We came across people who were going, who went missing. A lot of like claw marks and stuff, and we came across werewolves. So those kind of creatures is what we typically hunt down.
So when he says werewolves, based on
Wait,
I made a pretty high perception roll back when we fought Philip at the spa, and understood a cat didn't just randomly run into our spa, and then confirmed it with Gallus and Jorn that they didn't have a cat. Could I start to piece a couple of things together with Murtag?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had you roll
I
kind of
rolled
a
like a
wisdom check.
17.
Yeah.
I think I remember on, like,
So
perception.
you understand, like, there's something fishy as far as like what Murtag is.
Okay.
so I just explained that that's where we got Solaris's werelight, right?
Yep.
We found it in a cave. We fought off some werewolves.
Fought off Alpha Wolf.
Just
They
some
were-
werewolves.
They were pretty big furry
It was
creatures.
actually fairly inconvenient because it was actually really random. I had decided to silver my weapon before that fight, and going into the fight, I was the only one that was doing full
Well, yeah.
hits to it. But
Until
I
we
also
used the spot.
don't tend to get close to things.
So
yes,
funny.
We fight those creatures, demons, kind of.
So you fight werewolves, huh? Well, like, kind of side-eyeing Murtag.
Yes, they're
Werewolves are
pretty big, big creatures.
So you
Yeah.
fight big werewolves.
Yes. The ones that I'm
Got it.
Typically ones that are, ferocious.
Yeah.
So,
Deadly.
so as you guys are discussing this, this booth goes up really slowly. So you guys are just having this conversation this whole time.
I like to think that I got to the top and we just stayed there. sitting.
Yeah.
You just hung out.
Yeah.
You hung
Like
out.
someone else waiting to go downstairs.
It is a very pleasant day. You basically get through all the experience of the city. You actually have ventured to many parts of the city, but ending here with a newfound informant, Jasper, in the city. You guys have many things set before you. And upon waiting word from the governing council, you guys will basically have to figure out what to do next as we end our session here for the night.
Cool beans.
Let's see. Well, good.
That
It was a lot of RPing, boys.
You
Yeah,
ordered
good.
I kind of want that weapon. Just going around it.
kind of want that.
Dude, I
but-
can just I can only imagine the like type of upgrade John has planned for it in the future.
1d30.
That's a king killing blow.
So I realize I've got a skill as a wood elf, the master.
There's a couple things you guys haven't triggered yet. Hopefully you'll get to the right spot soon.
But
It's like when you open up a world map and like you can see like grayed out sections.
It's like Skyrim.
Skyrim. You know there's a question mark there, but you're not sure why the question mark is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole chess sequence was very cool, John.
You like that, huh?
Yeah.
I was
I legit
imagining,
thought-
you remember that movie? What's the movie where the guy's playing chess against himself at the beginning? The
Yeah.
Pixar movie.
Up. I think it's up.
Oh yeah, it's that short, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where he thinks he's